You are my fire, my one desire. Sort of. It's too late, and I don't know why I'm singing this song today. There we go. Hello, this is Michael Burhan here, doing a live stream of live goodiness where I talk about some life updates and stream about loads of little things and bits and pieces that you may like. I want to say at first a great big thank you to everybody who subscribed to this channel. 602 subs. It means a lot, especially from someone who's went from a channel that was rather minuscule in presence to anybody else, you know, to all the big YouTubers out there. You guys basically did it and put me out at 600 subs. So I really, really basically appreciate that. No one's keeping me company tonight, Mr. Completionist. The cats are outside. I've closed the room. It seriously looked like you were talking into a golden ice cream cone. Yeah, this is the microphone, and what I've done today, I'm taking off the kind of the black pop thing, and the reason why, to see if I sound a lot clearer, because I find with most of these the microphone is a bit low, so I'm hoping it's a bit louder today. So yes, I want to say a great big thank you for all my 602 subscribers. It means a lot when you share my videos and you refer me to other people and let people know exactly what I do. It's amazing. Now I'm going to give you a few life updates, let you know what's been going on personally, professionally, what I'm doing right now. If you haven't seen it yet, I would ask you to have a look over on this channel or my page, Michael Burhan Actor, or www.michaelburhan.com. I've got a actor showreel there, got a lot of praise for it, and I appreciate it. It's basically over a decade's body of work as an actor. You know, I've been doing this for God knows how long. I basically took a break to do like professional career training in terms of acting, and also to do other things as well. I've had a few setbacks in my life, as most of you know, with the issues that are going on with my kids and stuff like that. But it means a lot to show that people love my work, they love my range, and hopefully this will be one step for me to getting an agent and actually, you know, get paid work in this kind of field. The other thing, I got a letter today, well, a couple of days ago, in regards to the children, because I know a lot of people have been wondering about my kids and what's been going on. They were a big staple of my life and my channel. And for those who've watched my previous videos, you know what happened in terms of me being arrested and put in a holding cell and then being accused of being an immigrant and all that other stuff, which is fun. You know, that's what you want to do. You want someone to accuse you of being an immigrant because you're brown. So I had all that going on and had a situation recently where the social workers who basically made this allegation against me said, "Hey, can you come down? We haven't heard from you. Why don't you come down to where we're located?" The problem is how the law works right now is basically the idea that they're trying to put out there is they're trying to entrap me because I'm not allowed to go down there at all. As part of my bail procedure, basically what I was bailed for, I'm not allowed to go talk to them. I'm not allowed to talk to my ex-wife. I'm not allowed to talk to anybody involved in the situation. So even me replying to that letter means I could get arrested again and shoved in a cell. So I'm not doing that. I basically weighed the pros and cons, sitting there thinking maybe I should hear him out. But in all good judgment, and I'm a person who relies a lot on his gut when it comes to shit like this. When it comes to social workers and all that shit, I rely on my gut. And because I rely on my gut's telling me, don't go down there. It's entrapment. They're trying to fuck you. So I've left it at that. So I'm leaving the situation at that. I really want to see my kids, and don't get me wrong, I want to work with everybody to make sure that I see those little ones again. But the problem at the moment is it's not happening, and I can't do anything about it because of the way that these people are treating the situation and the manipulation and the breaking of the law that they're allowed to do, because this is what adults do, you know. And this is the worst thing about society when it comes to human beings, is we do some shitty stuff. No matter who you are, you know, you can have a situation occur where someone does something extremely shitty and extremely nasty to another human being, and sometimes they get away with it. It depends how much money you have. You could be a very, very rich person, and you could do the scummiest and nastiest of things in the world, and you can basically get away with it. I recently had a friend of mine on Facebook. He's been a victim of trolling and abuse, and a lot of people are getting away with it, and it's made his life a living hell. The problem is sometimes we've either got to learn when to fight or when to just stay put, and that's kind of what I'm doing right now. Is I'm staying put, and I'm not basically allowing this situation to get to me, and allowing anything in terms of the situation with my kids to get to me at all when it comes to that. Now, the stand-up comedy thing. For those who've seen it, and again, you can go to michaelburhan.com or this page or basically my Facebook. You can check out my stand-up routine. I did a stand-up comedy thing for this comedy store. It was fun while it lasted. I basically didn't get voted off, which was good. It's called the King Gong, by the way, for those who don't know what it is, where you go onto this stand-up like venue and you have to last 5 minutes. Problem was the crowd was extremely hostile. They were drunk. They would not allow anybody to basically even do a routine. I went on there, I sacrificed myself because I decided to use some observational comedy when it came to the crowd and, you know, aimed it all back at them. A lot of people loved it. The host didn't like the fact that I called him a cunt, even though he was a cunt. I use that term very much. It's a British term. If you want to call someone a cunt, you can do, but, you know, you have to make sure that they are, you know. But he was one of the problems because he was basically pushing the audience to vote people off, you know, to make people crack, and it did. And a lot of great stand-up comedians who went there, and I know, you know, a lot of you are going to say to me, well, you have to deal with hecklers, and I agree, and I think I dealt with them rather well. But when you have that level of kind of trolling and heckling, it's insane. I'll be flying home in 4 hours, so hopefully I can get some videos made. Would you understand, with regards to success, you have to start from the bottom? Yeah, and I agree with you, completionist. I agree with you. I didn't read the entirety of that. I apologize, because the screen only gets it up every now and then. And you work really, really hard, my friend. You work really hard in terms of what you're doing. And that's kind of the thing that I'm trying to do at the moment, the stand-up routine. I've got my next routine coming up, which is Up the Creek on the 28th of September. I'll also be doing some routines at the Lion's Den, testing out jokes, seeing what works, seeing if I can get the crowd behind me again. The Lion's Den's a bit more difficult because you're basically performing in front of other stand-up comedians. So people will laugh depending on how you do the routine. A lot of people are comparing me to like Jim Jeffries, Bill Burr in terms of the way that I do my British humour. And I'm thinking basically of going into that route. It's going to be a lot of swearing, cursing, and a lot of innuendos and insane humour. But it's also, I'm trying to do it at a level where I can tell a story in the process. And a lot of this is like trial and error, you know. My apologies, I didn't mean to cut you off from your story. No, don't be silly. I love the idea on there. And as yourself, I am glad that you're working really, really hard, because you do. Do you even bro code? Yes, I do bro code, Sean. You know I bro code, because I don't go around trying to steal other people's women. Which I think, you know, we don't own people. I'm going to say that. I'm not going to go back to slave labor. I'm not going to sit there and go, but we have slaves. Because slaving is no good. Don't slave, okay? Do not slave. Do not have slaves. But at the same time, if you're in a situation, your friend's got a situation going on, ladies and gents, I suggest to you, please do not fuck with your friend, okay? If there's someone who's got a girl and you like that girl, if the situation's going on and that girl's basically in a relationship, do not do anything with it, right? Don't get into a relationship with that girl, because it's bad. And it can also fuck you over and your friendships in the long run, because I've had this. I'll tell you guys a situation, actually. I've had situations happen to me where I've gotten into relationships with women who were basically telling me my relationship was over. Then I find out that they were in a relationship with someone else. Now, I look like a fucking dick because I fucked that guy over and got her. She looks like a fucking dick because she fucked him over, right? And it gives more to his whole woe is me angle. And karma comes back and bites you in the arse. And that's a fact. It's a big fact, because it bit me in the arse on multiple occasions. I've been cheated on it because of situations where I've gotten with someone who was with someone else. Don't do it. I know it looks tempting. I know she's gorgeous. I know she's an amazing human being, and you may fall in love with this person. But the fact that she's trashing her boyfriend, or in Star Wars, exactly. The moment she trashes her boyfriend and tells you that he wasn't the great partner, or he was abusive, or he was this, that, and everything else, and then goes around and tells, like, you know, him something else. The problem is, 9 times out of 10, her trashing him right now is going to be the same with her trashing you later on. It's going to happen. And she'll go to the next guy who she finds attractive and go, oh, I'm not happy in my relationship. I don't want to deal with those issues. I don't want to talk to him and communicate. I'm just going to go over there to that dude, fuck him instead, and then tell him that my boyfriend, the guy that I'm currently with, or my fiance or whoever, is fucking me about, or they're a bad person, or they're mentally or physically abusive. And it doesn't work like that. You can't do that, and you can't basically build a relationship on a foundation like that. It doesn't work. And that's kind of a problem, and I think it's a problem that we face in everyday life. We meet people, we communicate, we connect, we get into these situations where we want to love someone and we want to be loved. And I know with most people just sit there and keep going, oh, if I was with someone, my life would be so much better. It wouldn't be, because you would have the same problems, but now you've got someone else's like situation involved as well, and then you've got to deal with that shit, and then she has to deal with your shit at the same time. And the problem is 9 times out of 10 she doesn't know what your shit is about, and she's too focused on her own shit to be focusing on yours. And you don't want to carry that kind of baggage on you as well. Plus you've got the karma issues, plus you've got the many different other issues going on in terms of yourself and what's going on with you. So if you want to be in a relationship, make sure A, she's single, and make sure B, she's not fucking you around or fucking that other dude around. Because I've had so many situations, including my friend Sean here, where it happens. Oh, slave girl Leia, yeah, please, I do look like Jabba the Hutt. You don't look like Jabba the Hutt, Sean. You look like a Welsh Jabba the Hutt, you know, kind of a Welshy thing going on. But I'm more Chewbacca. But yeah, so that's kind of a Burhan's day of advice thing for you guys, because from someone who's been in that situation, it's not great. And always trust your gut. If something is happening and your gut is telling you to get the fuck out, get the fuck out. There is no point trying to deal with other people's insecurities and issues. As an up-and-coming comedian, why do you think the British have perfected the art of offensive comedy? And always respect the goddamn bro code. Exactly. I think the British have basically respected the art of comedy because we have a very nice dry wit about us, I think. My gut says I'm hungry. Then go and get yourself something to eat, Viper. Why are you sitting here watching this bald man do a stream? Go and eat. Get some food, and then come back and watch the bald man do the stream. I think it's basically we've got a lot of like dry wit and humor. A lot of people talk about Monty Python, but also I think we've just stopped giving a fuck as a culture. The British people sit there and think they have this mindset that the British are all these like charming and proper people. You know, we're not. We are just as dirty and nasty as anybody else. Like when someone sits there and says to me, oh, I've got such a dirty mind, I'm like, that's cute. My mind is a cesspool. My mind is a sex dungeon. I'm basically literally have ideas strapped to a table with dildos and contraptions and everything there. My mind is literally hardcore S&M 24/7. I can literally talk to the majority of my female friends, and every time I'm talking to them I'm mentioning innuendos. It's terrible. It doesn't switch itself off. And most people who know me personally, know that comedy is probably the best fit for me because I'm apparently very funny to people. Like when I was a kid, I used to basically use sarcasm. I still do, as a kind of a way of defending myself. I have that charm and all that other essence and bits and pieces, but I also look like I'm from the back end of someone's ass. Some say you can whip up a mucky idea very quickly then. Yes, I can. So in other words, I should never call you a charmer ever again. No, you shouldn't. Sneaks over to their country, hide me from the idiot Cheeto man, please. But this is the thing, you know. I find when it comes to comedy, I think the British do have it on tap, but I also think you Americans are amazing. Like Jim Jeffries, well, he's Australian, but he lives in America, in your endo. He's one of the biggest and funniest comedians, and one of my biggest inspirations as a comedian, because I used to look at guys who are very much like, you know, guys like Lee Evans. They do more. Their comedy is not, I wouldn't even call it observation. It's more in the same as improv, as a kind of staging your comedic routine, because they don't have punchlines. They'll say a joke, and then their punchline will usually be doing something stupid or out of the ordinary, and that usually works. It takes people out of their kind of comfort zones, so to speak. My stuff is literally just observational humor right now. I'm probably going to be working on that a little bit more as I'm doing my more sets. I am looking to go to Edinburgh Fringe and also do more stand-up comedy in that vein. So I hope you guys stand by me. I'm going to be uploading a lot more comedic routines and bits and pieces. I'm a huge Python fan. I'm a huge fan of sketch comedies. Anybody who can pull off a sketch comedy, I think I'm, not to kind of stroke my own ego, because I do look like a fucking penis, so I could stroke myself. As somebody who basically is comfortable with doing sketch comedy, I think I have that kind of niche so to speak, per se. Okay, now let's talk about something else as well. I got this. This is Dave Wade convincing me to buy this. Can you hear that? That's called a DZ09 watch. It's a smartwatch. It's like an Apple Watch, but it's not an Apple Watch. It's like some kind of like Chinese clone. It's got a touch screen and everything, so you can like change the screen and go through all the bits and pieces. It has a remote control and all those other little bits, and it also has like Bluetooth connection. The only thing about this, it just works as a music player and also like notifies me when I'm getting phone calls. That's pretty much about it. In order for you to get the 100% effectiveness out of this, you'd have to literally have an Android phone. But Dave turned me onto that, so check out Lawnboy's post. He's got another one as well. As I said, good contraption. It was only a tenner, so I thought, I'll buy it, have a look at it, see what it is, see how nice it is. And it's a nice little remote control for my phone when I don't want to pull my phone out of my pocket. Pretty much as this is a great microphone if I want to basically do live streams on my phone. Let's also talk a little bit about other things that are going on. I am looking to kickstart and fund a short movie that's going to be happening soon. Why do you buy a 10-inch dildo? You buy it to please either yourself if you like it up the bumhole, or you basically use it to please your significant other. And your significant, I mean, yeah, why? Ha! Basically, you use it to either please yourself or your significant other if you do have a significant other who likes to use stuff like that. And I had this conversation with someone recently actually about sex and why you need to please your partner before you please yourself. Now, if you're the type of person who goes out there and likes to bash one off, that's fine by me. But the one thing that I will say is, if you are in a relationship and your sex life is getting stale, the best thing you can basically do, and no, it's not lick the bumhole, is basically make sure that you, bow chicka wow wow, exactly, is you get some toys, have a bit of fun, try and spice things up a little bit, and ask her what she likes, or ask him what he likes, depending if you are homosexual. I'm alienating the homosexual audience of the group. And that's what I do. I always, like, if I get into a relationship with someone, I always ask them, what do you like to do? Is there anything that you like that you feel that needs to be done so I can fulfill your needs? And it's not, you're not less of a man or less of a woman by asking your partner this, because it's something that they may really, really like, but they don't want to tell you, and they feel awkward about telling you. But if you find out what it is, it's literally your lottery ticket. You know, you're always going to hit the jackpot, because they're going to basically end up doing something. Back to the slave talk. See, it's coming full circle now. Exactly. Sex slaves, BDSM, hardcore gimps. I'd be someone's gimp in their closet. Who wants to have me as a gimp? But yeah, you know, that's kind of the thing that you, in this case, is like squiggle all over the place. Exactly. But yeah, that's what you do. You basically find out what they like. You cater to their needs, and they'll be a lot more happier for it. You'll be a lot more happier for it, and you also look like a fucking sex god, because I guarantee your partner's going to go to work, go see their friends, and they'll be more inclined to fulfill your sexual needs if you fulfill theirs. I'm very much kind of, I give first and then I take after. That way they're more willing to do what I want. I like to squiggle all over the place, you know what I'm saying. Sean, I think people in Cambodia know what you're saying right now. Literally. Like, people who don't speak English know what you're saying. He bought a 10-inch dildo so his golden mic won't feel inferior. Ha! I don't have a dildo, actually. And the reason why I don't have one is because I don't want my cats playing with it. They'll basically just sit there just like tapping the fucking thing, thinking it's a playing cat toy. Not the best thing to have. So, yeah, that's not my experience with that. But, yeah, so, you know, if I know you're probably taking advice from a bald guy that's not basically someone who works in MMA, but I would say that to you as well. Now, going on from that, what I need to ask you guys as a little favor is I need kind of help with the Patreon pledges. I need help with the, once I put out, I believe I'm going to be using Indiegogo to shop this short film. The short film is going to be something amazing. The premise itself, I'm going to be working with some female actors on this. I want to basically, there's a pick of actors that I want to work with. There's a huge pool of actors. Some are going to be auditioning. Others are people that I've worked with before. And what this is about, it's about abuse, emotional and physical abuse. And I know we're sitting there going, ooh, you shouldn't be talking about that. But we need to kind of talk about it. It's kind of, it's my CANS project. And I don't mean cans as in boobs. I mean cans as in the film festival. It's a French film festival that happens once a year over in France. Who would win a fight, cow or horse? Who would win a fight, cow or a horse? If you're looking at a fight in terms of, like, you know what, I'm going to say a horse because their back of their legs, their hooves would just like whack you in the face. And more people have died from horse injuries than cow injuries. Have you ever had someone sit there and go, man killed by a cow? You've never seen like any news stories where someone was killed by a cow's udders. Depends if the cow is from Kung Pao. Well, hey, Viper, exactly, Kung Pao chicken. If you ever never seen that movie Kung Pao, you are missing out. It's literally a guy who green screened himself over this freaking Japanese movie. Cow can squirt a lot of milk at it and it drowns. Cows because they drain your soul. Look at my ex. Oh, everyone's a comedian now. Yes, Sean, that's terrible. I know I didn't. I would still say a horse, but yeah. Well, that's one thing I want to ask you guys actually in a little comment section. Do you badmouth your ex? Makes no utter sense. I think, oh my god, no utter sense. Check out Black Dynamite hides. That's a thing. Do you badmouth your ex? And that's a comment I want to ask each and every one of you. Do you badmouth your ex? Do you actually take a person and you badmouth them and say, you know, this person, it ended because this person was a cunt, or it ended because this person was a piece of shit, or because of this, that, and everything else? I would love to know your thoughts on that, because that's kind of a thing that I wonder about, you know, being someone who's been out of a relationship. I basically, if people ask me about my ex-fiance or my ex-wife I badmouth a lot, because she's a terrible human being. So, with my ex-fiance, I don't really do that much. I hope you do get your Patreon pledges, my friend, but you know I'm always guarded about giving money to people online. No, I know how you feel, completionist. I get it. I understand totally. But I'm not basically begging people in a YouTube video showing my tits to basically give me money for a new phone and to pay my rent because I decided to split up with my boyfriend and make bad decisions. I don't consider it bad-mouthing if it's honesty. I try to say it in a neutral tone, though, if I can. I'm still working on my computer issues and saving and earning and getting funds towards that shit. That's fine, Pixel Gamer Girl. But that's the thing with most people, like, they usually say, because I have people who say to me in the stance of like, oh, would you badmouth your ex, or don't badmouth your ex? I'm not the type of person to badmouth per se, but I'm pretty much the same thing. I will basically sit there, and if someone asks me about my ex-fiance, I'll explain my stance on the whole situation, because there's my version of the story, and then there's lies. So, you know, I know exactly what happened. I've had people tell me what's happened. I've got physical proof of what happened. So I always say that, but I'm not going to sit there and call her a fucking cunt or all this and that. At the end of the day, I just chalk it down to immaturity, bad decision making, and also being a coward. That's what I put that situation down to. But with my ex-wife, I use a more nasty tone, especially after falling out that you're familiar with a certain female Canadian gamer. Exactly. Depends on the ex. Well, this is the thing. Like, I'm going to point this out there, and I'm going to point this female gamer out recently. I'm not going to basically mention her by name. Most of you know her. She started off, she did, like, YouTube videos, and she was reviewing college girlfriend, yes. Recent girlfriend, no. Okay. She was doing gamer videos for like YouTube and stuff, and she was like with JKB. JKB talks about her a lot. You know, I'm male, my ex, and talks about her being bad in bed. Now she basically ended up splitting with her boyfriend to get with Mr. JKB, and that's none of my business. His personal life, but he put it out there. I don't really give a shit, but he's the one putting it out there, and that didn't work out for her very well. And he used her, and then he tossed her to one side, and then basically used a lot of his YouTube videos to slag her off, which I don't really give a shit about because I think she's a terrible human being. So what she did, she went to Patreon, and she basically got people to do one-on-one Skype chats with her. They thought it was something else, but she was like, I'm just being friendly, and offered herself to these guys in order to get them to respond to her, to basically, like, and these were thirsty dudes. These were dudes, and dude, if you donate to someone's Patreon or you help someone in need because you want to get your dick sucked, stop doing that. that's the worst kind of white knighting, because you're going to end up getting yourself like fucking fucked over, firstly, and secondly, you're never going to basically get laid in the first place. She has your money. She doesn't need anything else. That's the thing. This is not like you're in a relationship with someone. It's basically, you're being with someone who's going to basically not want to be with you. The second thing is that she basically went to Patreon. She got these. Only had one ex, and she left me for my cousin. So I've talked shit about her, but that was a long time ago. Well, shit could have told me this 20 minutes ago. But yeah, when it comes to like people like that, she basically used Patreon money. Like that people, when she was saying, I'm in major debt, I need your help. And there were a lot of good Samaritans. I'm going to say this. There were some good Samaritans who donated to her Patreon, but a lot of people wanted to get their dick sucked. They were hoping that if they basically helped her out, she would, give them sexual favors, which my reply to them is, it would be cheaper to buy a hooker. At least you're going to have sex if you're basically laying in bed with a prostitute, then donating to someone's Patreon, hoping that she basically suck your dick. It's not going to happen. So that happens, and then she then starts prancing around with her new phone, and then she buys a PC Engine, and all this stuff, all this money that she got, this extra income that she got from people, because boobs, boobs help. I wish I had a pair of tits. I think people would actually donate and help me out a bit more in my projects if I had a pair of tits, but that's me. And she basically went out there and got these people to donate money. And now, look, I'm going to say this. More power to her, right? So what you're saying is you can't get with Jessica Negri. Oh, no, you can't. She, more power to her. She used her body. That's what she wanted to do. But don't pretend that that's not your intention. Untitled Movie Show. I just got here. What did I miss? I'm trash talking a fellow YouTuber right now. Basically, she's hands you a blow up doll with Nerd's face taped on it. Exactly. But yeah, that's the thing. You've got this situation that's happened, and she basically used people so that she could get some extra income, so she could buy some nice new things and get them all. And it's a shame, and it is a shame. Like, being someone who's, I believe in hard work, right? But at the end of the day, if you want to be a stripper, go for it. You're making money. Guys know what you are, right? If you want to be a porn star, and guys are basically buying your porn videos and jerking off to your porn subscriptions, that's great. I have no issue with that whatsoever. But the moment you try to sit there and say that you're self-reliant, that you're a strong, confident person, and you're basically sitting there begging men who want to basically get sexual favors for you for money, so they can donate to your Patreon, and then you throw shit in the people who helped you's faces, showing, oh look, I've got a new phone, oh look, I've got a new camera, oh look, I've got a new gaming console. Are you referring to Zoe Berg? I don't know who she is, but enlighten me, Mr. Movie Show, enlighten me. So those are the kind of things that I hate, because I feel that firstly, you're being extremely sketchy. Secondly, you're a liar, right? You're outright lying to people. Thirdly, you're using your situation and you're playing victim. And also, fourthly, you're going out there. Mike actually found out that money I gave her, that was directly to her and not to her Patreon, because I thought she was a genuine person. And that's what I thought. I thought this person was a genuine human being. I thought she was a good human being. And you know what the funny thing about it? Ever since I blocked her and walked away from being friends with this person, she's done more shady shit. She basically got herself in a news article recently on Kotaku that was published because she wanted to get all the SJWs around her, saying that an Uber driver tried to force her into sexual favors. Now, let me ask you a question, right? You've got an Uber. So say that this is my phone, because I'm using my phone to stream right now. I use the Uber app. I basically get for the driver. They deduct the money before the Uber driver comes to me, right? She says, oh, my phone switched off just before the payment went out, which I think is out of bollocks, right? Oh, I know this is. Are we using names in this? We're not using names. If you want to use names in the chat, Miguel, that's fine. But I'm not using names. So she's going on about the Uber driver, right? Hey, Down Phoenix. How's it going, bud? And she's basically, I was lied to, manipulated, and the money was used for something that is not intended to. No, it wasn't. She was telling people that she was broke and that she had no money, and then she goes around and buys herself a new fucking phone and a PC Engine, which she doesn't play any of those games, by the way. And that bugged me. And it bugged me because you lied and manipulated people. And that's what annoyed me. Now, we're going on about the Uber driver because I'm going off topic. The Uber driver situation. So the money comes out, goes into the Uber car, and then the Uber guy apparently. Now I'm gonna say this, right? Yeah, exactly, Schmessiger. I'm gonna say this about the Uber driver. He probably did ask her for sexual favor. Like, he probably sat there and went, "Oh, you know, you're really good looking," and tried to chat her up and was being dirty because that's what some people are. Some men are cunts. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not offended by that. I have, being a man who's pansexual, I've had loads of gay men send me photos of their penis on Facebook on a regular basis. I'm not ashamed of that, right? I sit there and go, "Oh, look, penis. Hi." I've had friends of mine get vajayjay pics, girls get vajayjay pics from other women. They do this. People are scumbags, right? So I'm not going to say this guy wasn't a scumbag. He probably was. But basically, she was going on Uber app. The phone switched off, saying that she didn't know if the money went through. The driver came to pick her up, so that shows that the money went through. He drove her home and then said to her that he doesn't know if the money went through and that she has to give him a sexual favour before she leaves the car. I guarantee that never happened. And I'm saying this, I guarantee that never happened. Because if you know how the Uber app works and you know how the Uber drivers work, that didn't happen. Did this guy try and be smarmy and creepy towards her? Probably. I'm not going to lie. This has probably happened. He probably was smarmy and creepy. Because a lot of guys are generally smarmy and creepy. Like, basically, when we go to ask America Daho, exactly. When we basically go to ask a girl out, we try not to be good. Everything, Mr. Burhan, everyone in the chat. Good evening, Mr. Moosh. How's it going, my friend? Yeah, he was creepy. By the way, Zoe Berger was a famous Twitch streamer who got banned because her... Oh, was that the twerking one? She did the videos. She did the twerking videos. Like, she basically never played games on Twitch. Most of hers, she would get money. People would pay and donate to her Twitch to make her freak out. That was, yeah, I remember her. She was fucking hilarious because she would have like a mental breakdown every stream. Like, nearly everyone made a video about her fucking going insane. But again, the twerker. She got banned twice, I think. She got banned for that. Then they let her back on. Then she got banned again because she wasn't playing any games. So, onto this situation. So, the Uber driver drops her off at home. She goes in, and then she immediately, instead of calling the police, if this happened, right, instead of threatening to call the police and calling the police and reporting this Uber driver or reporting it to Uber, she goes to Kotaku and tells Kotaku about her situation because she's a victim. Goes to her Facebook page. I'm a victim. Tentacle porn. I love tentacle porn, Pixie. This is why me and you are just like, we're like creepy twins. It really works. Sorry, left the drool on the channel. And the problem is, right, she went out there, she's saying all this shit about, I'm a victim. And this is a mentality I hate, especially with SJWs. If you're Anita Sarkeesian, I remember who that is. Dow Phoenix. You remember the whole story. So she went around, she was like berating this dude. Didn't name names. And to me, right, if you're not going to go to the police, if you don't go to the police, if you've been sexually harassed by another human being, it didn't happen. And I know people are just like, well, you know, Mike, if there's a reason, if they don't go to the police, they may be too scared to. Fuck off. If you're too scared, you're going to get out of that Uber car and you're going to run. If you're too scared, then you're going to basically call the cops. If you're too scared, you're going to basically scream out loud in hopes someone's going to come and help you. You are not going to sit there, go through the whole fucking journey, get home, post it on your Facebook page, and then go to fucking Kotaku. I'm sorry. That is bullshit. That's like me complaining about getting dick pics on Facebook or getting sexually harassed by another man, which have happened to me a couple of times in situations, and I've said no. Do you know what I mean? And then I basically have threatened them, and we left it at that. And it happens, right? I'm not saying that women don't get sexually harassed, because no offense, most guys try to chat up women, and we try not to look like creepy bastards. But 9 times out of 10, we come off as creepy bastards. I know I do. I come off as a creepy bastard loads. And I have a variety of women basically sitting there going, ugh, unless you understand my humour, then you understand me. And then we get along fine. And then we can be best friends. I love you. Anyway, going on to that situation and going on to understand her situation, what she was doing, there's things like this that allows colleagues to intervene sexual assault cases. You don't have to prove anything. And no, you don't have to prove, yeah, same Mr. B. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to prove anything. When it comes to these cases, but it does make it into effect where these people will get looked into. Her problem was this. She was trying to manipulate a story, play the victim, and then this guy, if they found out who he was, he could have lost his job. And he probably did lose his job. I don't know what exactly happened to him, because Kotaku's not going to report that. They're going to report woman, you know, this female gamer is being harassed by men, and it's just like, okay, dude, like, be real. And I'm not going to basically sit here and call someone out without justifying it, because myself, I would be a big hypocrite. Now, that's what I mean. All they do is take a story of the woman, and that's that, and that's all they need to ruin lives. And exactly. And I've said this to the police a number of times. I went, guys get sexually harassed just as women. You know, she's just an out-of whack job. She is. And you probably know who she is as well. The thing is, when it comes to these type of people, they give all women a bad name. You've had women I've had friends who've been raped, who've been sexually assaulted, who've been harassed. And it's a real fucking issue. And the problem is, when you get fucking idiots like this who want attention, who want people to pay attention to them and listen to them talk about how men are basically treating them like fucking garbage, it takes away the whole issue. It downplays it, because then people are not going to fucking believe you. And that's the problem. When you start looking at someone who makes a rape allegation and says, I've been sexually assaulted by this person, and you sit there and go, really? Oh, do we know if she's actually doing it for attention? Do you have a lamp stand you can tape a mic to? I'm just going to hold it, Miguel. I feel like I'm missing out. And that's the problem. And when it comes to people like this, and it's happened a lot. We've had women make allegations because they were sleeping with a dude. I remember one guy got put in prison for nearly 5 years because he basically slept with this woman. She was cheating on her boyfriend. Instead of admitting that she was cheating, she said that she was raped. It's not the best thing to do. And again, guys do it too. Guys lie. Guys manipulate. Guys mistreat. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. And I'm going to say this. I'm playing devil's advocate. Quick Tater, harass Sean. Do it. Is this? Yes, it is, Moosh. I'm not going to mention names. I feel like you need to get a WWE decal to put on the microphone box. Uber drivers need to make... I remember the article, and they said she was a YouTuber even though she was not on her primary profession. Makes me wonder if it was a career move. It was a career move down Phoenix. It was a career. And that's kind of the thing where it comes to it. It was a career move. It was a situation... I feel like I'm cutting a promo now, Miguel. Now you've actually put that out. Did somebody mention taters? When you look at stuff like that, when you look at people who make those kind of allegations and who do it for career moves, it's bullshit. Like, this girl's channel, I didn't know you was keeping it hush. No, you can mention it, but I'm not going to mention it because I don't want to be done for slander. And that's the thing. And I think that's the problem sometimes with people. They use things as career moves. Did you guys hear about, like, the football player, the American football player who's using the fact that his college tried to cut a deal with him and says, you still keep your scholarship, you still can play football, but you can't make money off your YouTube channel. But you can make money off your YouTube channel, but you can't make it just if you post anything about your football career. Dude didn't take it, and he's using the situation now as a way to promote his channel. And it's a real big gamble. When you do shit like that, and when you lie to people and you make that kind of gamble, when it comes to YouTubers, when it comes to the platform itself, you are literally holding your audience hostage. Because you're trying to basically make people feel guilt for a situation that, one, they don't know anything about. There's always two sides to every story. You know, Dr. Pepper glazed pork numbs. You have the situation where it's basically a two-sided situation. You have to see where from the first person and the second what's going on. So if I ever get into an altercation with someone, there's always two sides to a story. But at the same time, when you go around and you play the victim with people to get more money and get more likes and get Patreon pays and all that shit, all you're necessarily doing is you're basically seeing how many... That's a blinged out... It is a fucking blinged out mic. I actually bought it because it connects to my iPhone. So I can do like live streams and stuff, and there's no distortion. I also used this for my interview with Lou Ferrigno. But when you talk about stuff like that and you take it to that kind of level, all you're kind of doing right now is you're trying to hurt your... You're not only hurting the credibility of the person that you've basically made the allegation about, you've hurt your credibility too. Yep, and it has a rival dildo too. And it came with a 10-inch dildo. What is it with everyone in the dildo jokes today? I think people are sexually frustrated on this stream. That's what it is. Like, if you're gonna fuck me, can you pay me if you're gonna fuck me, guys? Like, literally. Um, but yeah, so it's a really weird situation when you're doing stuff like this, and when as a YouTuber you go out there and you all need to get laid big time. You know what I mean? They really do. On Title Movie Show, they really do. I swear I want Saints Row 3 dildo on a stick. That'd be fun to carry in public. You know what? I would love that as myself. I think Angry Joe bought one when he did the Saints Row review. That was actually one of his funnier reviews. But yeah, when you think about it and you go on, I have 2 days in, oh yeah, public YouTube whistles, runs away. When you basically do stuff like this and you basically manipulate people, it doesn't help you. Jim Sterling. I love Jim Sterling. I know a lot of people hate him, but I love him. I think he's quite a character, but he does kind of the same bits. And that's the thing. As somebody who uses this platform to kind of speak out and talk about people and stuff, that's where you kind of draw the line. And it happens a lot. You know, people do stunts like, you know, the D-Dave channel. They kept doing they did a fucking blackface. You know, that pisses me off. When they did a blackface, they went out as what was it called, Mimic? Do you know that Pokemon that they basically recolored as purple because they had an issue with blackface? They basically went out in public doing blackface in hopes that they would get beat up and get it on their channel. And I don't like stuff like that. I think there's a difference by bringing a prank channel and doing, yeah, Mr. Mime. Jinx, that's it, Jinx. Thank you. When you go out there and you basically do these kind of stunts. And there's another thing, and you're basically getting people to pay attention to you for the wrong reason, because it is damn stupid. They did this video, and it's kind of one of the reasons why I don't like them. And people just like, how are you shit-talking D-Dave? Well, they kind of shit-talk themselves. That was dumb. Well, I don't consider that a prank, though, Down Phoenix. That's not a prank. You know, going to GameStop and reselling them the games that they basically put in the trash isn't a prank. That's an offense. And that's kind of their bread and butter. They want to do something really big so people will view their channel. And I find that stuff like that about YouTube, that gets really on my fucking nerves. You know, when you've got channels where it's just women clickbaiting and showing their boobs, when you've got men running around doing prank shit, when you've got people, I think the biggest YouTuber right now is as a pranker. What was his name? Do you guys know his name? He used to be on the Disney. He had a Disney contract. But apparently he's going in a big thing at the moment where he's in the national news, where the guy is basically being... It's not really an offense either, though. Anyway, I don't think their channel all that much, but they are nice guys. I don't talk to them. I think I've probably one of them I talk to every now and then. He seems Jake Paul. Thank you. He seems very nice. But yeah, Jake Paul. He's doing that. He does his prank, and you know, yeah, he's a nice guy. I agree with you on that one. I've never had an issue with him, and he seems really nice. I don't have no faults with him. But I think as a channel as a whole, that just I would never go out and do blackface because I know how offensive it is. I would never go out and use the N-word because I know how offensive it is. Just like I wouldn't expect someone to go out and pretend to be a terrorist, or go out and say I'm an Islamic person, or stage something involving brown people. I would be offended by that. But at the same time, you know, I feel like those channels have a lifespan. And they have a very short one, because the problem is there's only so far you can go. With policing content as YouTube is, where's the line? No, I agree. The content has the right to be there on Title Movie Show. No, I agree again. There's basically, I'd have no issue with content, but at the same time, I have a right to call it out if I have an issue with it, so to speak. It can be up there. It's like freedom of speech. I always believe that we should not cut off anyone's right, whether you're right or you're left, and you have an opinion about something, whether you're an SJW or you're a manist, or you've got like any sort of opinion, you have the right to state that opinion. I will in a bit whenever you guys are ready. But at the same time, my biggest issue with this is censorship. I don't think you should censor someone. I feel like, you know, when you've got those, was it Milo Yiannopoulos? He did a big talk on a campus, and then they cut him off. You had the extreme left saying, no, we don't want him there. We don't want him basically having a talk. All you're doing is making his message stronger. Doesn't matter how shitty his message is. You're making it stronger by trying to stop him from talking. The guy's a joke, but look how much monetization people are getting just by putting Jake Paul's name in a video. And maybe good for them, but giving them more publicity. I don't care about Jake Paul. I really don't care about him. And that same thing. I just think as a channel and as a YouTube personality, I think he's just stupid. He's childish. And I believe his 5 minutes of fame will be up eventually. Whether it's going to be 5 minutes or 3 years, it's going to be up eventually because people get tired of it. UC Berkeley keeps setting itself on fire every time the right winger steps onto the camera. And yeah, and the thing is, right, everyone knows I'm an idealist. I'm very much, I have views that lean to the left, but I'm not a complete leftist. I don't believe in the extreme left or the extreme right. I think when it comes to people, the moment people sit there and go, I don't want you to say your opinion, that's the moment that you basically have no point. You're garbage to me because you're censoring someone else's opinion. It's like when you've got the stupid, I think a stupid video went viral recently when a woman's trying to disprove the dinosaurs, that the dinosaurs ever existed, because she's an extreme Christian and she tries to put a viewpoint, and it was literally she was good looking, well presented, but her viewpoint was total trash, right? If I sat there and went, no, that video needs to be deleted because I don't agree with her opinion, no. You can sit there and say, well, your opinion's shit, because you have the right to say it. It's the same on stand-up comedians. It's why so many stand-up comedians are attacking Trump right now, because he basically is full of material. At the end of the day, he has the right to say whatever he likes. He has the right to tweet whatever he likes. But at the same time, right, he's got to deal with the consequences when people speak out. You can't sit there and go fake news every 5 minutes when people are speaking out against your shit. They have the right to. But I think the censorship bullshit needs to stop. I think people need to stop censoring one another and allow people to have their opinions. And in the end, the best thing you can do is disprove someone. I guess what the infamous nerd has done. Exactly. When Sarah Silverman went full SJW, that was the nail in the coffin for the millennial comedy. Fake news. The thing is, I like Sarah Silverman. I think she's very well... Her comedy's okay. I think her stand-up is very... And I think a lot of her kind of feminist viewpoints and stuff are used mostly to sustain an audience. I don't believe that she believes in any of that. Fake news is why I have exes. Exactly. So yeah, let me ask you guys a little question now. What do you think? How far do you think the line should go? Do you think YouTube should censor stupidity or crappy videos or people who do stupid pranks? Do you think that their line should be drawn? What do you think of channels with parents putting their kids in front of the camera and raking in the money? This is the thing. I don't mind parents who put their kids in front of the camera and it's a fun little experience and the kid is sharing their experience with the world. My kids want to do that. And, you know, they've always tried to do their thing when they were with me. I have no issue with that. Daddy of 5 is where I drew the line. And again, I chose not to view the channel. Frankie Boyle is kind of stand-up at the moment. Oh yeah, Frankie Boyle is the king of stand-up. I've got to watch more of his content. With Daddy of 5, there was a huge line in terms of what they did. Because what they did is they put their kids in front of the YouTube audience. And then they filmed themselves encouraging their other children to beat them up. They did these things they called a prank bro. And they assaulted their children. Their son Cody was the one who got the burden of it in front of people. As long as they're doing isn't breaking any laws, it should be fair in content and doesn't violate the DMCA. I agree with you, Untitled Movie Show. Totally agree. We are totally in agreement on this side. And that's the thing. And this is where I have a problem. If you're abusing your child and you're putting them in a situation where they are not happy and you're swearing at them and you're cussing them and you're doing all this nasty shit to your kid in front of the camera and you're being abusive as a parent, yes, I think you are the scum of the earth and you're a piece of shit. If you're a parent that just wants to share that child's experience, there's no problem with me. And if they get famous of it because people are like, oh, that's so cute, then that's great. Yeah, there are types, I mean, not just having fun with your family, that's fine, yeah. But I have no issue with it. But if there's so much bullshit that's going on, then it's not good. But at the same time, it's not up to me or you or anyone else. All we can do is, if there's a situation where you see abuse on a YouTube video where someone's abusing their kid, go to the authorities, report it, and make sure social services hear about the situation and let it known. Yeah, this might be a bit old, but when you finish your point, what is your opinion on the controversy between Anita Sargon and Akkad? Oh, yes. Sargon the Akkad, a very famous Brit. He's a guy who has a Patreon account and people have been donating. He has no tagline or anything. Right, this is this is a bit of an issue, and I have an issue with Anita Sarkeesian, even though I've said that I would never speak of her again on this channel. But I'll make a quick point of it. He did nothing wrong. There is nothing that says that you cannot go to someone's panel, watch them, and basically just listen to their opinion. He hasn't asked her a question. He didn't say anything. She just then swore at him. And I think a lot of people who... What I consider Anita Sarkeesian as is a bully. She's a bully and a cunt. And I think the problem with her is so many people keep giving her a platform. And you don't give bullies platforms. Well, actually, you kind of do. Because we do it here in the UK, and America does it as well, where we basically glorify these people. And that's the problem. And Anita basically hides herself in the guise of social justice because she's not an SJW. And she's not feminist. She's someone who's a man-hater. And she's very disgusting in terms of the way that she puts herself out. She pointed out Sargon the Akkad, and she basically berated him in front of an audience of people. He didn't do anything to initiate it. He didn't do anything to basically attack her. He never even did a rebuttal. And then she continued her talk without him saying anything. She's a Jack Thompson of twits. I agree. And I think also she's like Milo Yiannopoulos as well at the same time. And again, I consider him a bully too. Now, she went out there and she put this viewpoint across. So she made herself look bad. And instead of actually apologizing to the guy, which was what I would have done if I lost my temper, because anyone can lose their temper. People come down at you, people call you a cunt and call you all sorts of names. You're going to lose your temper every now and then. Now, I checked out Sargon's videos, and a lot of the videos he's done on Anita, nothing is him slagging her off. He hasn't told people to go and attack her or do anything like that. What he's basically done is refuted a lot of her claims when it came to gaming, because she tried to skew her viewpoint and say, well, I view points like this. Most notably, if you haven't seen it, check out her video on Hitman, where she literally said that it was okay to kill women for points, when it wasn't. Even in the video that she was showing, it basically showed a negative deduction because they were killing a civilian. So she basically had this issue with him. And then what she did afterwards, like the owners of kind of the con that she went to, VidCon, basically stuck up for her, which I thought was bullshit. I thought they fucking are spineless twits, in my opinion. Then she doubled down and then got her people to attack him on Twitter. And she was throwing her weight around. And again, you're basically, the thing that you're saying, you're playing victim here. And Anita, I'm going to say this. You can say what you like about my video and get your fans to attack my channel. I don't give a fuck. But if you sit there and go and tell everybody that you're a fucking victim, and then you send your people to go to somebody else's fucking channel and attack him verbally and abuse him on Twitter, that makes you the exact thing that you're saying that you're fighting against. You complete and utter moron. Like, seriously. And I'm going to call you a fucking moron. Come and sue me. I have nothing. This is the thing, right? Maybe she can get my golden microphone. Who knows? And that's the thing when it comes to this sort of situation. And then she does the nastiest thing on the planet. I think people just give her a platform to see how far she'll take it. No, she's taking it really far. She then tries, because the guy gets £4,000, I believe, in $4,000, so about $3.5 grand in terms of donations a month, right? She then prompts Patreon to investigate him, to fucking investigate the guy and hold his money and earning potential hostage. The fuck is wrong with you, Anita? Like, I never knew you were this fucking spineless. And you sit there and you tell everybody, you go on the mainstream shows, you get your 5 minutes of fame and tell everyone how much you're being victimized by the men and all this and that. And then you go around and do the exact fucking same thing that you say you're fighting against. They placate to her because she has a mainstream appeal. This is the same Anita that goes, and I agree with you. And that's the problem. And this is the problem that we as people need to stop fucking doing. We need to stop glorifying the bullies. Because we put them on a high fucking pedestal, we put them on the platforms, and instead of sitting there saying, that person is a fucking bully, we sit there and go, that person speaks their mind. Instead of saying, that person is a fucking cunt, we sit there and go, that person is just sticking up for our rights. Well, if I was part of the SJW community right now, because they put her on such a fucking high pedestal, I would be fucking ashamed of myself. If I was every fucking guy out there that goes around acting like a fucking idiot and going, no, we're men, we objectify women. Fuck, mate, if I see a good pair of fucking tits, I'm going to see a good pair of fucking tits. I don't give a shit, right? I'm not going to randomly go up to go, oh, your tits are amazing. I'm going to basically sit there, and if a girl basically sits and goes, oh, my body, I don't know great about it, your body looks lovely, that's it. But if I see you, if I'm going to stare at someone and they look really fucking amazing, I'm going to do that. It's the same if a guy's got a nice tight ass. I'll look at that guy and say, hey, he's got a nice tight ass. I don't give a fuck. And I think that this is the way that this world is kind of going to right now. You know, people are more intent about bullying someone else and trying to hold them down. That's why, as much as you don't like Milo, we need people like him that can break through the liberal media. No, I really don't agree. I think he's the same demon as Anita Sarkeesian is. And I think that's the problem. He's a hypocrite. And so is she. And you can't exactly. There's a difference between compliment and assault. And so many of these people now, like recently, I'll tell you guys a story. There was a trans woman. There was a Twitter debate. And I spoke about this earlier, but I'll speak about it on this video. She had a Twitter debate with a few people where she sat there and went, there was a guy, I went and approached him, and I went to basically, like, I took the lead, and he didn't want to date me because I'm trans. I wasn't his type. How dare he? This is my fucking issue. And she had people agreeing with her. No. I have everything. When it comes to trans rights, bathroom issues, I'm on point with you about it. When it comes to the military shit that Trump was pulling, I'm on point with it. I agree with you 110%. But the moment you sit there and say that someone's sexual preference is bad, and that we need to force them to like trans women, no. And I will say to any trans woman out there, if you want to come over, you know what I mean? I'll if you don't have guys that have you as a preference, I'll objectify you. Anyway, when it comes to stuff like that, you can't sit there and get fucking pissed off and annoyed with someone because they have a sexual preference. And this is the problem. People take things that you hold values, which, you know, social justice, feminism was supposed to be put in place for equality, and then you've got people misusing it, misrepresenting it, go, if a man looks at me, I feel objectified. Fuck you! If a guy looks at you, he looks at you. Doesn't mean he's basically looking at you like, hey. It's because that guy's fucking ugly is the way you're saying it. Because motherfucker looks creepy, you're sitting there going, oh, motherfucker looks creepy, so I'm going to go over there and basically say he's objectifying me. Yeah, I'm okay about selling nudes to people or sending nudes to guy B because he's good looking. Or I'm alright. And I've seen this a lot when women get upset about being objectified and then objectify a guy. They try and take someone's preference and turn it into some form of hate because they can't accept the reality of it. Exactly. And I have no issue. I'm basically, being pansexual means I don't see gender. I don't. I see a person. And if I have an emotional connection with you, then the emotional connection becomes physical. That's it. But the moment you sit there and try to basically push your viewpoint on someone else, that's the problem. They want a world where women can't walk around topless like men, but demands no men look at them. They want a freedom, and that's the problem. It's a double standard. It's what you've called there, what you've stated is called hypocrisy and double standards. When you have hypocrisy and double standards, it means you go out and you basically say, I want one thing, but I also want something else which clashes with that one thing. It needs to be more linear. You need to simplify your terms and simplify the way that you want things. You want fair pay? Brilliant. Do it. You want to be acknowledged as just on the same keel as most men? Do it. But when it comes to women's rights, when it comes to giving birth to children, you've got to give that away. You've got to say that both parents are on equal rights and equal footing. Feminists these days are disgraces to the ones that actually accomplished something way back when we kept their shirts on. Exactly. Pisses me off. No, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. It pisses me off too. And that's the problem. I think everyone hates too quickly. They hate so fucking quickly now. They don't understand what kind of message they're trying to put out anymore. It's like, as again, the Anita Sarkeesian incident, she basically became everything that she said that she was against. But people are too damn fucking stupid to see it and sit there and call her out on her bullshit, or they're too damn fanboyed up to sit there and call her out on her bullshit to actually say, this needs to stop. The fact 90% of people piss me off these days, me too. And it does need to stop. You do need to have people stop hating on each other. You can't have Christians sitting there going on about Muslims, right? And then, and Sharia law and all that shit, and then the next minute, be okay with trying to take away a woman's right to basically abort a child that she doesn't want. You can't have them sitting there saying that everyone needs to be abstinent and then get angry because Islamists are putting down their women. Do we see where the problem is? We're being hypocrites, you know? And that's the thing as well. And atheists, I'll go into atheists as well. We live in a world now that being trans or any other different sexual preference is becoming a phase or a fad. And it's not a phase and a fad, Moosh. That's the problem. And that's the issue. You and I at some point need to have a debate on this stream. And that's the problem. The issue having right now on this whole fucking situation is no one knows what they stand for anymore. No one stands for anything. It's like, I'm not straight, but it's not a label of my existence. Exactly. I'm not straight either. I'm pan, right? Some call me gay, others call me bi. I've had gay men say to me, well, you need to pick a fucking side. I had straight people go, you need to pick a fucking side. I don't need to pick no fucking side. I love who I love. That's it. But then you have atheists. Atheists come out and say, well, all Christianity and religion is wrong. You know, they don't believe in this and they don't believe in facts. Listen, right? Anyone has a right to believe in what they want to fucking believe in. If you want to believe that some fucking aliens came from a planet and a book by L. Ron Hubbard and say that we're going to become corporeal beings and that Tom Cruise can bend fucking spoons with his mind, you have the right to fucking believe it, right? Don't fucking tell me that because I don't believe what you believe, that I'm fucking a disgrace to you. Because I'll tell you to go fuck yourself. And that's where the problem lies. Don't tell me, as long as you don't start wearing a wig and chopping your knob off, that's all right with me. No, I need my knob. I need to penetrate stuff with it. And don't tell me that being a female, you want equality, but then you want to use that to put men down. Because I'm going to again say, fuck you. And as a man, don't tell me that you want women to be fucking put down, right? Because again, that's not equality. Equality means an equal playing field. You know, when you're sitting there talking about the liberal left and the right, you can't put the other side down and try to censor them. It doesn't work. Be happy who you are and do as you wish. Exactly. The strange rule, I don't fuck someone to pay the bills. I have no right to judge or dictate. And that's the problem. And again, this is the thing. And this is, I think, where everything kind of meets in the middle here. When it comes to these kind of situations, no matter what you do, no matter who you are, be happy who you are. I believe in trans rights. I believe in gay, lesbian rights. I believe in all that shit, right? I believe in men and their rights. I believe in women and their rights. But this is the problem. No one wants to work together no more. Everyone's put in their little groups and their little sects, you know? So we have the religious lot over here. Then we have the old school adult lot over here. Then we have millennials grouped into a bunch. Then we have basically the internet grouped into a bunch. Then there's geek and nerd culture grouped into a bunch. Then there's all these other fucking sects of shit, right? Grouped into a bunch. And that's the problem. You're supposed to be standing for something, yet you stand for nothing. So to each person that thinks that if you basically... Oh, that's a hug from me too. I'll give you all hugs to everybody. If you basically go and say that you stand for something and then go around and be a fucking hypocrite and censor someone else, then you stand for nothing. Everything that I am, like if you're pro-gun, but you want people to have a go. I have a desk mic for now, so no one will hear my sink again. If you basically stand up for certain rights and liberties, then you have the right to stand up for them. As long as you're not putting anybody down and as long as you're not assaulting anyone, you have the right to stand up for your rights and liberties. Do not censor people. Do not sit there and attack people for their viewpoints. It doesn't matter if their viewpoints are wrong. Viewpoints can be wrong because people are fucking dumb sometimes. The amount of uneducated bullshit that goes on in this world is ridiculous. And the fact that people don't fact check anymore and think that Breitbart is a news source, they're ridiculous. But at the same fucking time, as individuals, as people, we need to also understand that everyone has a right to an opinion, even the stupid. So, for Anita Sarkeesian and people like her, I will say this. next time, if you want to make yourself look good, maybe not attack people, you know, if you want to prove your victim mentality point. And when it comes to anybody else at the same time, I would agree with that as well. So, do we have any more questions, guys? Does anyone else want to add a question? Warning, womp, wah, womp, womp, wah. Get it. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. And again, I love each and every one of you for these live streams, and I didn't know I was going to get so impassioned about things. But all I will say to you, you lovely people who are on this stream, is stand for something. Don't stand for nothing. If you have an opinion, voice it. But don't blindly look into things. Fact check. Make sure that your opinion is correct and that you're right. Peace out, Down Phoenix. And that you're doing the right thing. And that's pretty much it. And everyone has a right to an opinion. Everyone has a right to do what they need to do and listen to what they need to listen to. And that's fine. Just don't discriminate against anybody else and not give them their right to state their opinion. And remember, we're all human beings. We're all people, you know. And we have the right to stick by each other as long as you're not hurting anyone. So, that's pretty much it from me, guys. I'm going to go and turn this off in a little bit and go to... oh, no, I'm not scared to share it, Moosh. I've lived my life making sure that I'd never do it. You should consider doing short videos on these topics within 10-minute range and wear a suit and etc. I should, really. But yeah, I love you guys. And what I will say to you, if you can, please share the Patreon. Get people to donate just $1. Because I want to make this short movie. I'm going to actually open up an Indiegogo as well and see if I can, and a Fez. Fucking racist. And I get sick of sharing opinions and getting shit all over. Don't be afraid of getting... I got trolled. Ask these guys. I get trolled like 1 million times by people on this channel, actually, because they're scared of my opinion. And it's ridiculous. And you know the people who downvote my videos are scared. Oh, thanks, Moosh. And what I'm going to do, guys, is basically I'm going to add... If we can get over a certain threshold, if we can get to like 30 to 40,000 in terms of funds, basically, and that means for the film is only going to require 20. If I can basically get to the point where I'm on 30,000, I will do a short stand-up tour of the United States. And that's my plan. I'm going to do a stand-up tour, and I'm going to go and talk to people. I'm going to book them, and I'm going to do them for free for my Patreon audience. So whatever area you're living in, tell me what local comedy club that you're at, and we're going to do an event where you get in for free, and I'm going to basically stand up and do a routine. So we do that. So donate if you can, little as $1. And the UK too, Mush, and the UK, and Scotland, and everywhere else, okay? And people in other countries as well. So yeah, so donate, share with your friends, let them know what I'm doing, and I get to be his pet. You're always my pet pixel. I love you. I want to carry you in my pocket, like everywhere, because you're so cool, and you get me, which is like you get me in a non-sexual way, because if you got me in a sexual way, I probably would marry you. Daddy Slave. Hi, I'm from Canada. Hi, Daddy Slave. Was it Deadeye Slave? Sorry. I just basically said you were a daddy slave. I thought you had daddy issues. Whoops. Hi, Canada. I love you. I've got some great friends from Canada. They're awesome. Deadeye Slave. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Share the Patreon. Share the live streams. Share everything. Canada is amazing. Freudian slip. Freudian. Fuck off with your Freudian slip. But yeah, I thank you guys, and I love you all, and thank you. I want to say a great big thank you again. 602 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, like, comment, subscribe, and share, of course. I like it most days. So make sure that you basically like, comment, subscribe, and share. And thank you very much to everyone who's basically attended the stream. It's gone over an hour, so which is annoying. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to Pixel Gamer Girl's stream in a little bit. Make sure you go to Pixel Gamer Girl's stream. I'll be there, basically sitting there, admin in the conversation and making sure trolls don't go on there and dudes asking for her to suck their dick. That happens a lot. I've asked 1 million times and she said no, which is... It happens. So yeah, Patreon, share, like, comment, subscribe. And I will be basically adding that as part of the perks. I'll be doing a stand-up tour. And thank you to everybody. Make sure you subscribe to Mush's channel, Down Phoenix, Untitled Movie Show, Sean Walker, of course, as well. If I've left you out, I'm sorry. The Completionist. Oh, and the Canadian person, Deadeye Slave. See, I got it right this time. So make sure you sub to all these great people and check out my past videos. Check out my show reel. Check out my stand-up comedy routine at the Comedy Store, and also my hosting reel as well. Make sure you check out all this shit that I've been doing on this channel. Thank you very much. I love you all, and I shall see you. And this has been Michael Burhan saying for tonight to end things off that I've got gameplay. Have you? See you soon, guys. You have a great day too.